Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select 1 team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
It's time for the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News. The Riley and Ridge Show takes you into the locker room and the coach's office, giving you a unique perspective on Boise State football from 2 guys who know a thing or two about what it takes to win on the blue. Combined, they have nearly 3 decades of coaching experience, none of which came from Riley Smith. But he played for the Broncos and won 52 games and 2 Mountain West championships during his 6 years. Kent Riddle won 7 conference championships during his 13 years as an assistant coach at Boise State and has 29 years of coaching experience overall. The Riley and Ridge Show is presented by Jackson's, where 25 cents from each hot dog sold goes directly to the Horseshoe Collective to support Boise State student athletes. Visit a Treasure Valley Jackson's location today. Now, here's Riley Smith and Kent Riddle for another edition of the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News.
What is up, Bronco Nation? Welcome back to the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's. Obviously, we are not in the James tonight. We are online because our special guest sadly isn't in Boise anymore. He's back running up Texas. But tonight we got a special guest. He's the super GOAT. Taught me everything I know about everything good. Former wide receiver Stefan Cobbs. Steph, man, thanks for joining us, dude.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes,
we added another year of coaching experience now with Stefan here.
Yeah,
not a year yet. a few weeks. A few weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy. Take us through it. So you went back to Texas after ball, and kind of take us through what you've been doing and what you're up to right now.
Yeah, man. I just kind of came back home. I started selling cars. Got in the car business. It was fun and I was enjoying it, but I just got a call from actually my brothers go there, so I got a call from my brother's new head coach, and he said he wanted me to be a receivers coach, and it kind of was just like, what do I need to do to get there? So I kind of wanted to stay in football a little bit, so I thought that was the best way to do it.
Yeah, they was trying to win games. They was like, we need Steph out there.
Yeah, I put Riley Smith as my
and they watched my tape. They're like, yeah, maybe not.
They saw your name and called me right there.
So along with coaching, you're teaching?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What subject?
Math.
Oh,
math.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I've always been a math guy, but I actually got into communications in college, so it's been a minute since I did math, so I had to like re-get into it. But I'm back green in it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. And it's awesome that have you dropping your knowledge on the young guys, helping them along
Right.
back to your hometown. So we're all excited for you.
That's it.
What has been the biggest challenge so far as you flip over to the other side?
The biggest challenge, I really want to say it's a big challenge. I mean, the hardest thing is just missing actually getting out there. Every time they score, I'm just sprinting down there. I'm trying to just get my little glimpse of getting back in the game in between the lines as I can. So I try to stay on the field as much as I can. But
Are
sometimes
you one of those coaches wearing cleats out there and like
No, I ain't wearing cleats. Nah.
No, he's routing up the DBs. He's doing one-on-ones out there.
Well, my brother's our starting corner, so sometimes I get out there just teach him. I'm still older brother, but
Yeah.
I don't put the cleats on though. Just the running shoes. Yeah.
That's
good.
That's
Good,
awesome. I thought about doing the same thing, just trying to stay around ball, and it's fun going back to like high school and seeing like that was you at one point in your life, and you just trying to grind and win games and get a scholarship and all that. So, and we looked up to our high school coaches so much, man. Like I look back, and he really set my mindset going into college. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. And that's what I try to be like, and just try to set an example. The cool thing is I grew up in that area, so a lot of the kids come up and tell me like, bro, I remember watching you when I was in, middle school or when I was in so-and-so grade. And so it's cool. It's real cool.
No doubt.
Well, and part of the great thing about being Boise State, those guys got to see you play on TV every week, probably still. Maybe not even realizing it, not tuning in for that, but like, hey, there's Steph, because the Broncos are always on. So you ought to know it.
And I always represent, I wear the collar blue Boise State shirt for school, so that's what I wear. That's what I wear for my classes. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hey, didn't want to brush over it too fast, but want to thank Jackson's again for sponsoring the show, giving us a chance to get on here and talk about the Broncos and all that's going on at Boise State. Some big news coming out of Jackson's that we kind of been alluding to.
Yeah.
And then they're coming with it this week, but announced the Ahmed Hussein sack deal. So if Ahmed gets a sack on Saturday, on Monday, I believe it's 91-cent drinks. And the Breezy bundle, if he scores a touchdown on Tuesdays, I think it's a hot dog and a drink or something like that for a good price. I'm not sure the exact. That's what I thought. I didn't want to say something there.
That's going to be my lunch, so Breezy better turn up.
Well, I'm thinking a couple weeks down the road here, we'll get a sack and a Breezy bundle, so we can get the whole thing, get a couple days working for Jackson's. Excited about that. And then I think the other big news, as far as I know, the only big news to come out of Boise State this week was that the trading cards would be released on Friday. And you can sign up and get those, or not sign up, but you can pop into Jackson's, get those on Friday and get a signed copy by, I think Ahmed signed some, Breezy, Ashton Genty, Maddox, Malachi. I think there were Tubner maybe. So I think there's a few other guys. Matt Lauder maybe. We'll see. But some of those guys, get those signed cards, and rumor has it we might be opening a few next week. We will be back at the James. We got some special guests lined up that I ran into this weekend. All these guys said they'd be on. Now, as we get them to actually check their schedule, we'll see what the realities of that are. But we've got that coming up. So we'll have a big group down there next week, and would love for everybody to come join us. But this one was important to get Steph Cobbs or Static Shock on the podcast tonight. So make sure that everybody could catch up with Steph.
For sure. And there's a fun story with the trading cards and Static, because we got to do them the first time they came out. We got to sign some, and so I bought a bunch and brought them back home for Christmas gifts and gave them to my family. And my dad is probably Static's #1 fan for sure. That's his favorite Boise State player. And so
that's a lot of.
I'm your dad's #1 fan.
It was funny because he got a set, and like they were all going through, and hopefully they were gonna pull my card, my signed card, and they were all fired up. They didn't get any, but my dad got Static's signed card, and I thought he was gonna be upset. Nobody got mine, but he was more happy with getting Static. It's up on a pedestal.
Did they ever track down a Riley Smith card?
No, I don't think they did. They got like the regular one, but not one of the signed ones.
Oh, not one of the signed. Okay.
His is rare.
We do have some connections now. We do have some connections. So if they didn't get a card in general, I feel like we could have pulled one out somewhere. But
yeah, no doubt. But no, they were fired up. I thought that was funny. He loves Static. Oh, this Corey said he loves Cobbs too. What skill do high school receivers have the most trouble with when they go from high school to college? And what can they do to go from a great receiver or a good receiver to a great receiver in college?
What skill? I guess I would say the hardest thing to get through with high school is trying to get them to really like stick to their fundamentals and not try to do too much, right? Everybody's trying to make a play, which is understandable. It's football. You're in the spotlight. You always want to be the guy to make the play. So you always trying to make a play, even when it's not your play to make. So you got to understand concepts and know when is your time to do something and when is your time to get somebody else open. So I'll say that's the biggest thing. I know I struggle with that coming out as well. I always try to do something too much, and coaches ask me why I ran that route, and I'm just trying to get open.
Yeah,
that's not the route. That's not the route, or that's not how you're supposed to run that. So that's probably the biggest thing.
One of the other things I thought both you guys did a tremendous job understanding the entire offense and being able to play really any position, because especially as Boise State moves around pre-snap, I mean, you're playing all sorts of different, whether it necessarily is X, Y, Z, H, whatever. You might end up in the slot. You might end up outside. You might end up the number 3 receiver. A lot of different things. And I think that's something typically a lot of young guys coming in now struggle with, because even in Texas high school football, a lot of those guys play left side, right side, outside. Not and not just Texas. I mean, that's something everywhere. But I think that with the go fast offenses and all that, a lot of guys don't ever really move from their spot. And when you get to especially Boise State's offense, I think that becomes a real challenge. And then to even take it another step, like, hey, this is the one I have to win. I know the ball's coming to me. I got to win because I got the matchup, one-on-one, whatever, no help. Hey, it's my job to get these guys out of here.
Yeah.
Get somebody else open.
Exactly.
And also the blocking too. Like as a receiver, you're not touching the soul. And then when you go to college, you gotta get your mind right. Like what was Miller's board where you guys were making the tallies?
Oh, knockdown boards. Now I will say, y'all go look at my high school highlights. I was hitting people. I'm not gonna lie. But
all right.
The rule, but in high school the rules changed. So that's when you could blindside. I would blindside everybody when you could do it. You couldn't do that once we got to college. They changed the rules back. So having to look somebody in their eyes and say, "Look, I'm gonna block you," especially Zeke. If Zeke, I used to have struggles trying to block Zeke.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
That was crazy. I remember the first time, like when I switched to tight end and like was learning about that rule, I was like, all right, I got to make sure like he sees me before I could touch him. And Tubner's running downhill. It was like him as a freshman, walk on, chip on his shoulder.
Speed.
I'm like, I could have blindsided him, but I like waited for him to like acknowledge me. And he looks at me and ran my ass over. And I was like, this rule is stupid. We could have swim to sleep.
Speaking of that, Miller would put a video, and it's like a good video, like this is what you're supposed to do, and it's me like getting in front of 2 running down, and 2 smacks me, but the running back but the running back runs right past him.
Yeah.
Just focus on hitting me. He like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like,
That's
nah,
all
let
he
me
wants
stop
to
playing
do.
that one.
That's the old
But-
backhanded compliment, right?
Yeah, like you find another grip to play.
But I will say you were up there on the knockdown board. You was probably right behind Shea, who was pretty much a tight end. He probably had more knockdowns than I did. But
that year I led.
You led it? You beat out Shea?
By a lot. That year. That's when I bulked up a little, though. You know what I'm saying? I bulked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Really focused on the weight room. Yeah.
I know, because you would always finish, too. That's what was cool. Like, when you're running down the field and you see Static come out of nowhere and just light someone up, if you're on the sideline watching, that fires you up, for sure.
I appreciate it.
What play was that last year? You came you sprinted from nowhere. Who was that against? And got the kind of touchdown block.
Air Force, I think Air Force. But I'm not gonna lie. So this is the first time I said it. I did that because I was pissed because it was so Ashton ran like a flat and I had a under, which is, for the people that don't know, the 5-yard speed across, right? And it's a choice route. The quarterback could have thrown it to me or Ashton, and we both wide open. He gonna throw it to Ashton. I said, you know what? I'm finna get my money somehow. I was mad. I was so mad.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's a good play though, because that play too, that safety, I think that safety was he was a real big, like he was a really good safety. So
yeah,
we was all talking about like who was gonna be the one to be able to put him on his butt. So I was happy I got that one. Yeah.
Air Force always got a good safety. Always.
Oh yeah.
Like, it seems like the best player on their team generally is playing like the safety, and guy knows every play that's coming and whatever. But yeah,
no doubt. And when you run over someone like that, they're not gonna want to cover you on a route either. So it's like it's a mind game too.
Nah, he got me back though. I remember he got me back. He got me back.
Maybe not Air Force guys. They got
big respect for Air Force because that's always a tough game every year.
No doubt. No doubt.
Always a tough game.
No, that's crazy. This is a good question too. How tough is it to learn and understand the playbook and what the coaches are trying to accomplish in different scenarios?
That's a great question. So, did you want to go first?
No, you got it.
That's a great question. So, one thing I had to do quick was I had to learn how I learn. High school, and I played on my varsity team. Like I was practicing on my varsity team since I came in 8th grade. I was practicing with them, learning their plays and stuff. So you're running the same system for 4 years, and then you get to college where, you know, not only are you learning a new system, but and these two could testify for this, but it always changes. A play is never gonna stay that play. You know, it might be that play for this week or a few weeks, and then it would change. One thing I did, I'm a learner by example. So I would try to learn off the book and just read and try to remember, okay, I got to post on this play. That didn't work for me. I had to go out and walk it. I'll walk it in my room or, you know, I'll go out to the field and if we're running routes with the quarterbacks, you know, I'll tell them, like, tell me to play. So when I run the route, I know, okay, this is what I got right now. So I'm a learner by action. So not everybody learn the same way though. So I'll say, you got to figure out.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And Boise State, I think, has always done a pretty good job in the teaching structure of, you know, it's like pictures, video, walkthrough, full speed.
Yeah.
And it sometimes takes that long. Some guys just, you know, get it. But it's, I think one of the things that you have to train yourself to be at Boise State because of, like we were saying earlier, how much movement there is. You have to be a conceptual thinker. Like you can't try and memorize, this is what I do, or you're going to be lost for a long time. You got to understand the whole picture because you might be at any one of the 5 spots going out. And that's when things get a little different.
Yeah. I thought it was cool too. Like our freshman year during fall camp, like me and Static were roommates with Billy Bones and Chris Mitchell. So we would get all the like freshman offensive guys and they would all come over to our room at night. And so we would go through the install that we have for tomorrow. And that was pretty cool. We'd throw it up on a TV and we would just watch it and try to just cut it up. It ended up taking a long time because we just started talking and goofing off and stuff. But like that made us all closer too. But when we would go out like on the next day on the field, like I feel like that helped us out a lot more than just sitting in our room trying to study by ourselves and stuff. But
absolutely, which is hard at the end of those days because those days were a little longer back then than the guys.
They were a lot longer back then.
Man, I was going through it. I was going through it.
Really
tough day.
The good thing is you work so hard and you're so busy, and by the end of the night so tired you don't have time to get homesick either.
That's true. Mine's going crazy. You don't even think about it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Great question from Ryan. What's your favorite memory from your time as a Bronco?
That's a tough question.
So tough.
That's a great question, but that's a tough one. Just because so much went on. I gotta really think about that one actually.
I could say my favorite of you. I would probably. I mean, there's a lot. We was tight since freshman year. We were roommates forever. But I think that the talent show when you did your Michael Jackson performance, I think that was by far one of the funniest, like most creative and talented skits that we've ever had in the 6 years when I was at Boise State. That was crazy.
I really wish you would have recorded that one. I know we normally don't record them. I really wish you would have recorded that one.
Someone's got to have it somewhere. There's got to be a
I don't
video.
think anyone has it. I think I would have seen it by now.
Oh,
yeah,
that's got to exist. Somebody's got it.
So, dude, that was one of the best performances. And for you guys watching, like we do throughout fall camp, you have unity groups and unity teams, and you guys compete at different, like basketball or dodgeball, whatever it is. And at the very end, we do a talent show, and usually it's people singing or doing like music videos and stuff. So Static came out, and he made his own song. And it was a parody of Michael Jackson's song, and he made it about our strength coach, Coach Keggy at the time. And it was, first of all, the lyrics were hilarious, and you killed it. But then you came out in the full Michael Jackson suit with it in the background, and you was dancing. You hit the lean, you hit everything.
All out. And it really came to me because my grandma, my granny Pam, we always would watch the Michael Jackson. You know how he has his movies where he has a DVD and he has all his movies. And one day I was just looking at I love Michael Jackson. So I was just looking at the movie, and I was listening to it, and Kagi called me. So the song was about Kagi. I'm gonna just put it out. The song was about Kagi, and one thing about Kagi, he had this hat, and it wasn't dirty or nothing. I think he jumped in a pool or something, and it got chlorine all in it. So it was a black hat that turned brown and yellow, and it just looked terrible. And I make fun of it every day. And so he called me literally on when Smooth Criminal was playing. And I was going to make a song about Kagi, bro. That's what I'm going to do. And then everything else kind of was just, the team kind of threw in stuff like the lean with the Nordic. Yeah. I didn't even have, somebody, I forgot who, but somebody came up with that. Like, they were like, you should do the lean. And at first, I was going to lean and everybody was going to hold me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really trust y'all like that, though. So then we saw the Nordic in there, and it was like a split decision. It was like, we got to just carry it. Just do it.
No, that was money. You guys did it so perfect. Like, you cut the lights. Everybody had the flashlight. I didn't even see you guys pull the Nordic in. Like, it was like out of nowhere. And then you just hit the lean. I saw that it was the Nordic, bro. I started dying laughing.
That was tough. I knew that was when I did that and how the crowd reacted. I said, that's it. Yeah, I said, that's it right
out of our seats.
No, I wish I would told somebody to record it, but it's all right. It live up here.
Yeah, it really does. That's a legendary moment for sure.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down to do another. Oh, we got a question.
We need to, though. We need to actually get you to do another, because come like during this year, like bye week, get them fired up again, because that was legendary.
Oh, yeah. I'm down. Yeah, definitely.
I'm down. You know what? I'm gonna have to text Coach D and see what's up with that.
Yeah, no doubt. But all right, we got a question from Corey. He said Riley played for about 9 years, which is facts. Wish we could have had you for a couple more. Came in as a QB. Why couldn't we have gotten one of those razzle-dazzle tight end special downfield to Steph? I wish, man. I feel like we had it in almost every week.
Yeah.
We did have it in.
We always had it in.
Like we had one where Hank handed it to Avery Williams. Avery Williams pitched it to me, and then I threw it back to Hank downfield. And I wouldn't trust Hank's hands either. But at the end of the day was crazy because everybody asked me this question, why didn't they do a double pass with me where I was throwing it? And I was like, we had it in like pretty much all 4 years I was a tight end. But it was like it has to be at a specific yard line in a specific situation, like on a specific hash, like everything has to just fall perfectly into place for that play to be called. And it just never did, which sucks. But it really is. There's so much that goes behind it, and they can't just call it on a whim or out of nowhere just to call it. But man, I wish we would have done it, but I might have thrown a duck. I don't know.
Nah.
You would have risen to the occasion. You'd have been fine.
Yeah.
I still got the video of the perfect dot you threw in the spring game on our go ball. That's probably
one of my favorite memories. I'm not gonna lie. That first spring game, and we went out there and threw it up on Chris, our roommate.
Yeah, that
did a little better too.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even answer that question. So I'm happy you said that. So I think mine was getting in and scoring the first time. I think that was probably one of my most favorites.
Yeah. When it ended up punt return too.
Down against UCF to tie it or put us ahead there.
That would have been my favorite if we would have closed it. We were just a little short. It's all right though. It's all right. That was a fun moment. And it's crazy because we worked that play like almost every day that week, and I never got the ball.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's one of those plays I was supposed to just grab the safety. So I think Billy was behind me, so Billy could come in and be open, and it just happened to fall right there. But yeah, that's definitely a top 3 moment for sure too, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I got a good question for you that everyone's wondering. Where did the nickname Static Shock come from? Because that's your staple now. Like, yeah. I forgot your name was Steph. I call you Stat or Static all the time. So fill the people in where that name came from.
All right. So everybody who knows me knows all I do is joke and I like cook my friends. I make fun of my friends. So I was just going back and forth with one of my friends in high school. I think I was a freshman, or it might have been 8th grade. And it's just when I just started growing my little dreads. So they were actually even smaller than my twist at this point. And somebody was like, he cooked me, and he said I like Virgil. And Virgil is Static Shock's. That's his secret. That's his identity, right? Like that's Static Shock when he's not a superhero. He said you like Virgil, like fake Static Shock. Exactly what he said. His name is Miles, and he gives me crap for it all the time. And I say, you know what? That's kind of I'm gonna make that. So I'm gonna boss that up, because he got a lot of laughs too. That's another thing. When you cooking people, whoever get the most laughs really wins, even if it don't make sense. He got a lot of laughs. I say, you know what, man? I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna let that win. I'm gonna boss it up.
Right.
And honestly, in high school, it was just one of those things where you get a poster, someone will make a poster. No one called me there, right? And it wasn't until I actually got to Boise, and someone said, "I'll never call you." Like, I said it as a joke, and someone's like, "I'm not ever gonna call you that." I said, "Oh, for real?" Since then, I didn't tell anyone my name. My name's Static. I'm talking about people who met me the first time. I think my first year there, I don't think anyone knew what my actual name was.
Yeah. I remember that. It was like when you came in, everyone's like, "We're not calling you that." Like,
right.
Like they were so against it, just older guys, and then
I was being stubborn. I was just like, okay, since y'all don't want to call me it, I'm not gonna go by nothing else but it then.
Right. And then it's funny, like if you ever do some weak or something, we'd be like, "Oh, that's Virgil talking." Or
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how that started and carried through. So that's cool that that's a staple for me though. I feel like when I go to Boise, that's because you got your nicknames everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just another home where I got another little nickname.
No doubt. We always throw up the shot.
Yeah.
Every game.
Big stat. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's tough. That's smooth. That's a cool story.
Riley, there was I was going to skip that one for a minute, but there was a question on there from a guy that said he played quarterback the whole time, growing up, never wanted to change positions. And how tough of a choice was that for you?
Yeah, that was tough. Honestly, that was probably the toughest decision I ever had to make in life, still to this day. I mean, because like that was my dream, was to be an NFL quarterback. I didn't play. It's funny, the first position I ever played in like Pop Warner was actually tight end, which is wild. But then after that season, I never played another position other than quarterback for the rest of my life going on to that. So switching it up was tough, especially when like the transfer portal started to be a thing, and it was like, oh, I could bounce anywhere. I could go back closer to home or go to another school and kind of find an opportunity that's going to be easy for me where I could just go in and probably start right away. But for me, I've always been like loyal to the school that I chose and loyal to the people. And when I got to Boise State and all the people I met, like when I say like me, Static, and Bill, like right when we stepped on campus, we hit it off the bat right away. Like we were brothers from just that 1 month over the summer. And so like relationships like that, that's really what kept me here. And I was like, honestly, like I don't want to pass up that just to go to another school and maybe be able to play football. I might go to that school and not start and then be in the same position, but miss out on all my friends in a great city that I just left. So that was really the main factor for me. And at the end of the day, like I was a football player and just wanted to get on the field, like whether it's quarterback or
Well, it started out kind of gradual and then became a full deal.
Yeah. There was a point where I was doing both. Like I was doing routes on air and I would throw a couple and then I would go run one. And, you know, I loved it too. And like growing up, we played like pickup football all the time, like with the boys. And I never wanted to play quarterback. Like I wanted to go out and be a receiver and like moss my friends and just assert my dominance. And like that was so fun for me. So like I think when we started doing routes on air and I was out there running routes and stuff, like it felt like I was playing pickup football and I didn't feel as much pressure as like quarterback. And it was just kind of felt more like a game again. So it was tough, but I had great people around me. And like I said, like Static and the other boys, like it was hard to leave. And like playing tight end ended up working out well, made a lot of good relationships and got some rings out of it. So shoot, I'll take it.
And this is probably something that does lead into a little bit what's going on at Boise State this week. But, at some point, like your redshirt freshman season, Hank came in and was pretty good, kind of all through the summer, fall camp. I mean, you probably had some kind of idea like, hey, if I want to get on the field, I'm going to have to do something other than be the other quarterback, which not that really has anything to do with the quarterback decision, Boise State or whatever. But I think the big thing is with the feedback you get as a player every single day, I think you have a general idea kind of where you're at. And, as much as everybody wants to make a big deal about they announced the starting quarterback this week, I would guess those guys probably had a pretty good idea of which way it was going, through fall camp based on their performance, not just based on their reps, because that's all anybody wants to talk about is how many reps everybody got and whatever, but it's based on their performance. And I don't think there's anybody that was probably really inside the gates and inside the Blameyer Center that really had any surprise as to what was happening. That was probably a manufactured media deal. And hey, good for Boise State. They got two really good players, and I'm sure over the course of the year, the depth is going to be tested and counted on. And for whatever reason, it could be as simple as, equipment thing or whatever, but you got to have a guy go out there and perform and whatever. So, I think that Boise State's going to be in a good situation.
Yeah. And having a guy that's a backup that could start at most schools is, like you said, that's a good thing. And Static, from your perspective as a receiver, I know I think about this too. When you have two quarterbacks like that battling, they're both good. They're both leading the offense. They're both your boys, good people. How, as a receiver, do you kind of feel throughout that process or contribute? Because I know it's whoever's in, that's who we're riding with, but it is you definitely gain a relationship and it's two different guys. How do you kind of combat that knowing there's two different great people that are kind of competing for that spot?
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, you kind of just support the guy who's in, right? Just like the quarterbacks are going to do for each other, where, we had the same situation last year with Taylon and Mad Dog. When Taylon was in, okay, let's get it going. I'm talking to him, I'm supporting him, but Mad Dog's, Mad Dog's the first one out there supporting him, celebrating when we score and stuff like that, and vice versa. When Mad Dog was in, Taylon was the first one running towards him, celebrating. And I think the whole thing is about being able to build a relationship with your teammates and being able to build a rapport, knowing I trust both guys. We practice with both guys. We got a lot of off the field work with both guys. And one thing I liked, I can't talk about the situation as far as right now because I'm not there. But one thing I know for a fact with Taylon and Mad Dog, when we're getting together and we're throwing outside of practice or just trying to get extra passes in, Taylon's calling Mad Dog yeah, we're throwing, let's get work, and vice versa. It wasn't I'm gonna try to, slice my way through, or I'm gonna try to cut them off and get these guys on it like me. I think the biggest thing is just being able to be a family, right? Now, if we was a team that was kind of just all, worried about, what we got going on, it probably would have been a different story. Probably would have been a lot harder to, to deal with that as a receiver. But I think because we were such a family and our goal was to win a Mountain West championship and, send our seniors off, send ourselves off with a year we were proud of. I think that was everyone's goal. And I think that kind of just helped with everything just coming together and being able to mesh as a team, So, like you said, you just support the guy who's in. We had a situation with BYU, which I hate bringing up because, we know how that game ended, but we had 3 really good quarterbacks and 3 quarterbacks ended up not being able to play and ended up, in not a good situation against a Zach Wilson and a number, whatever.
That did not
BYU
end well
they were.
at all.
They ended terribly, right? So being able to have 2 quarterbacks that receivers have confidence no matter who's in, that's a really big thing. That's a really good thing to have.
Right.
And a lot of times people on the outside don't see that. They kind of just see who's starting or who's going to do this and that.
And people on the outside, understandably, all they can base it off is kind of, little bits and pieces that they might get from media, newspaper, whatever, a big article on ESPN, getting a text, and that's all they can base it on. But the reality of it is, it's scary if you're basing it on anything other than what's actually happening with the guys in meetings, in workouts all summer, in practice, competing on the decks, answering quizzes, walkthroughs, all that stuff goes into everything. And if you're not there, you got no idea. So any opinion, the 3 of us would have, even as much as we know guys and whatever, wouldn't be an accurate opinion. And I would just say this, there's never been a coach for sure at Boise State. And I can't imagine nowhere I've ever been and nowhere that I even know of that would not play the guy that gave him the best chance to win.
Right.
Now, sometimes there's other factors into that. Trust goes into it and all that stuff. But, trust me, those guys are going to play whoever they think gives them the best chance to win from the first snap of the first game until they believe somebody else has got a better chance. And they'll continue to evaluate. They'll continue to compete. Nobody's going to take their foot off the gas, but I think it's just dangerous not only to judge on performance, but, for anybody to say like, well, one of them's going to transfer, one of them's going to – you don't know that.
Right.
I mean, not unless they told you that, you don't know that. And even then, you don't know it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say bad things about fans, but because that's why you're a fan, because you care. But, to go off and start giving your opinion on stuff that you haven't watched one thing, that to me is a really scary deal. And to base it on the spring game, even if you base it on that, A, Maddox didn't play, and B, that's one practice out of 45. So
right.
No walkthroughs, no summer stuff, none of that. So I think that is a very, for lack of a better word, Twitter happy opinion where you can have an opinion and, somehow it matters, but really it doesn't. No matter if you fire off 45,000 tweets or one tweet or whatever, it's just your opinion, and it's an uneducated opinion also.
Yeah, it's an in the dark shot.
Right, it really is. But it is good, like, when you have someone behind you that's, like, really good. Like, in this case, like, throughout the whole season, he's, like, Mad Dog and Malachi are just going to get better and better because they're going to be pushing to –
Hey, and I'll tell you this. I would go deeper than that. The times I've been over and watched, I mean, I saw a lot of good performances at quarterback. I mean, a lot of guys doing good things. Well, yeah. And guys, they got the best freaking quarterback coach, offensive coordinator in college football. And it's probably not that close.
Yeah.
You guys both had the opportunity to work with Dirk for the better part of a year. And you guys know, like, that stuff is dialed. Like, it is, when the ball's coming. The quarterbacks know the read. You got to, things happen. You got to move fast and get through it. And he's pushing probably to make that happen faster and faster and faster and be efficient. But, I mean, you got the right guy in charge of that, and you got a whole staff that is. And, everybody will continue to improve on the offense throughout the course of the year. It's going to be fun to watch. The guy that I want to ask both of you guys about, because if you saw one of the stats that got published, how about another Texas guy, Latrell Capel's back, and I believe I saw had 184 yards on like 7 catches. I don't know if you guys saw the highlight of him going up at the goal line and going over 2 guys and catching it. That dude is back. And that is a huge weapon for the Broncos to have back. You missed him last year, 2 years ago, especially when Dirk was there as the offensive coordinator. I think Latrell might have been the leading receiver.
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me start off with Trell, man. Trell has to be one of the most. Trell's one of the biggest dogs I know. Trell's one of the biggest dogs I know. I mean, not only he's quick, right? He has the route tree for sure, but then he goes up and gets it. And he goes up and gets it. People don't realize how hard it is sometimes to be able to turn when a ball is, if you're looking on this side of the shoulder, and it's coming on the other side of your shoulder, running full speed to turn, be able to high point it, and then move the ball so it doesn't get. I see Trell do that over and over again, as if it was just easy money. And then he did it in one of the highlights I saw in his last scrimmage, and it's normal for him. So
him and Shaq was the other guy who was unbelievable at that.
Oh yeah,
and that's not a bad guy to be compared to right now. Who's going to be like the leading receiver for the AFC? Yeah.
And Static's right. That's what was scary. It was like so consistent that it was like he was making plays like that, and it was just like, oh, cool, it's another catch by Trell. But like, if I were to do it, I'd probably hang the pads up. I'd be like, I'm done. That's the best it's gonna get.
I don't know. I saw you make some pretty good catches, right?
But it's like
I'm excited to see what he does, man.
That's when it's crazy. Like,
yeah.
But somebody's really kind of flying under the radar that nobody's really talked much about because everyone's talking about the transfers and the JC and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, hey guys, the guy with the most experience coming back is healthy again. And like Steph said, that dude's a dog now. I mean, and he gets going and is contagious. I mean, he's got great energy, and he's always open. Just ask him.
Yeah, always open.
Always
open. 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
that was 7-Eleven.
And I was saying he had the best mentors too. Like I know he was on Static's hit for a minute, like just trying to learn as much as he can, like figure out how to be like a Boise State Bronco, because that's one of the biggest things coming from high school is like you don't only have to learn how to be a better receiver, you got to learn how to fit in with like the school and the team and kind of get that culture going.
It's not easy at Boise State, right? I mean, it's not easy at Boise State. And I think you guys have put that through the recruiting process and everything. Like, hey, if you want something easy, this ain't the place. It's going to be hard. You're going to be a lot's going to be demanded of you in the classroom, in the meeting room, on the field, in the community. And if you're not good with that, don't come here.
And Stat, I just saw the other day, I was doing some laundry and I pulled out, it was a blue blood shirt, the white shirt that we had to wear when we stepped on campus. And it brought so many just nightmare flashbacks. And just from all those workouts we had to do with Coach Pitt as a freshman, like when we came as a freshman, it was like we were really contemplating if we really wanted to be here.
Like boot camp.
It was.
I used to wake up and
5:30 wake up, right? Had to be ready to roll
every day.
Before 6.
Yeah,
every day.
Yeah,
and those shirts were funny too.
Punch my pillow.
Yeah,
yeah. The shirt all summer.
Yeah, because that shirt's a funny story too. Like, they would give us a white cotton shirt that was like 2 sizes too big for everybody, and everybody else got nice dry fit Nike shirts. Like they was looking good, and we was wearing these just white gross cotton shirts, and people were. By the end of summer, people were like turning yellow because it was just like, constantly in these cotton shirts, and they wouldn't give you any type of upgrade until you earned it, which was kind of cool because it was like people slowly started getting in the dry fit because like people recognized that you were working. But no, those shirts were different. They were a little bit.
I kept mine for a minute. For a minute.
Because we had like they gave us 2 and we had to rotate those like throughout the week. But I remember the first one right when I got out of it, I ripped it up. I was like, I never want to see this again. I still got the second one.
Facts.
That was different.
Oh, that's funny, man. Those are times where in the moment it's like, man, I'm not liking this. But then when you look back at it, it's a good, like, I wish I could go back to it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, and enjoy it instead of survive it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think one of the things is you guys talked about it, but the mentorship from the older guys, and I think the honesty in recruiting a little bit. I mean, at least you kind of know what you're in for, and like, hey, it's going to be hard, but it's not going to be forever. And then it's going to stay hard. Don't get, the actions, a lot of demand there is a lot of demand placed on you as a Boise State football player. And it doesn't matter if you're the superstar or the last guy on the team. I think the standards are what they are, and everybody upholds them and works together to try and do that. But it takes a lot. And I hope through this and what we're doing, people learn a little bit about that. But, in all seriousness, like when you guys hit campus, I mean, it was 6 days a week from 5:30 in the morning until, maybe Saturday you were done by 1 or whatever. But, from 5:30 in the morning until 9 or 10 at night as a freshman. And it's not like it got any easier once the season in school started.
Worse.
Yeah. Got worse. And actually that freshman year, our schedule was we lifted first. Then went to study hall. It was been in practice that night. That was terrible. Cause I felt like I had no. I was struggling through that one.
Yeah, whoever made that change, thank you, because that was probably the worst. And practice in the afternoon, and we're freshmen, and we barely know the plays. We're trying to figure it out. I didn't learn anything because I was just in class studying the plays because I was like, shoot, I'm gonna have to go out and practice and run some of these. It was just stressful all morning. Like you couldn't get it over with. That was,
it's way worse for the quarterbacks at that point than
it definitely was.
Than the receivers. Yeah, I always say that. I don't know how
I was like all the kill plays. I was heck no.
And at that time, I only played Z. It wasn't like I was moving out. Eventually got there. So I don't know how the quarterbacks do it. But
and even
I found a way.
I did it not even just to play football, like to run the plays. I was just scared Harsin was going to ask me a question. Like I was thinking all day. I'm like, I know he's going to ask me a question, and I better get it right. Like
I used to sit like this.
How about even just the snap count, or you screw that up, and I mean that's something people probably don't have any idea, like how big a deal that is. That everybody's got to be at least maybe not the same, but similar. Yeah. Because you go out there and you got a big pause, like the whole line's going to jump off sides, and Coach Bedell's going to come screaming at you. The old line's going to MF you when you get back to the sideline. Like there's a lot of pressure just on that, much less remembering what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And we used to sit there in the team meeting and rhythm to the snap count, get everybody on the same page. That's one of those things hard to do.
Yeah, no doubt. This one of your boys, Jesse, asked a question. He said, what are your thoughts on Chase Penry? He said he thinks he's an underrated guy in the receiver room, but how do you think he's going to be used this season?
Oh, Chase is a one of those slots where when you first look at him and you're getting to guard him, you're not going to think he's as quick as he is. He has that deceptive quickness and speed that he runs up. I see him run up on people, and the DBs, they look like they're not even expecting him to get there that fast.
Right.
He's going to be somebody that comes in and puts in work that's unexpected. I say by mid-season, other teams will start knowing, like, okay, we gotta lock in when he come in. So I think he's going to be somebody that's going to step in for sure and be able to get something off of people just not knowing yet.
Right. There's a lot of depth in the offensive skill.
I mean,
we already talked about quarterback, but running back speaks for itself, I think, between Ashton and we saw Breezy last year, and Sire Gaines, looks good, and still got Caden Dudley back there. So that tight end, Matt Lauder's ready for a breakout season. Austin Terry looked good in fall camp. They've got Luke. My man Luke was looking good the other day. But
Stat, you would have been proud of him. He caught like a little flat at like the 5-yard line, and the safety was running down. I thought he was gonna get lit up, and he hit him with a little step back. Threw him to the side. No, it was tough. Luke getting a little swagger. Coach Potter was like, all right, Luke, don't get your head too big.
But then the receiver, I mean, I would expect we'll see, at least 6 guys, and I would guess probably more like 8 in most games.
Yeah.
And they're going to spread the ball around, and like we talked about, I'm sure Luttrell's going to catch his fair share, and but I mean, I was really impressed with those guys. And same thing we were talking about. I mean, competition, like there's no resting. Whether it's Chase Penry or Cam Camper or Austin Bolt or whoever. I mean, you're not going to be tired and be out there on the field very long because they'll get somebody else in for you. And I'm excited.
Yeah, I need to find time to go ahead and come back.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find time, man. I'm leaning towards the mid to end to November, just because it's probably the best time around there. Get the most breaks, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to make it though. I need to see. For sure. I'm always tap in on TV though.
Yeah,
That's
no
a given.
doubt. No
That's a
doubt.
given.
Yeah, and
Well,
I'm gonna come down I'm going to a Gator game down in Texas. So I know we already talked about that, but I'm gonna see you down
I'm
there.
still
too.
working logistics. I'm gonna try to make that. I'm working logistics.
You better, because Davis Cutter, Coach Cutter's son, is out there coaching for Texas.
Tight ends, coaching tight ends now.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's big. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's real big. I need to. I'm gonna text him because I know now. Yeah, I'd be tired after coaching. So I know people don't just call him all the time. I'm gonna text him. Not gonna call him.
Is it gonna be hard too? Because you got Friday games now too, huh?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I'm working logistics. I'm gonna find a way to find a way. Static do what he do.
Yeah, he does.
You know.
He'll make it out.
The Texas season, though, you guys are done like Thanksgiving and then playoffs, right?
Yeah, around that time. So that's why I'm thinking that's gonna be a good time for me to try to make it down in Boise. Now I gotta figure out which game.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're done before Thanksgiving because
we should, around that time.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving's like the second round, I think. That weekend is like the second round of the playoffs.
So we get the team right. I mean, maybe I ain't done.
I hope
so.
not.
We'll see. That's what I gotta see. I gotta see how it goes.
I know. Well, hopefully we just bring the championship game back to the blue, so we can all go watch that.
Facts.
For sure, make that.
Facts.
But it's gonna be cold. We're gonna have to get up in a suite somehow. I don't know if I could be a fan sitting on the sideline in the cold like that.
I got acclimated. Give me a big coat and probably 2 small jackets. I'm good.
Dale will finally give you a jacket to wear.
Yeah, Steph, you're not a cold.
Yeah, for sure.
The recruit jackets.
Yep. I'm happy you said that. I'm for sure getting that now. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that.
Yeah, you want to get up in the press box. That's a much better way to go.
We can't all be Money Man Red. We can't all be Coach Red. Exclusive.
All about connections. The guys at Jackson's, they've helped out a little bit. Been up there a couple of times. There's plenty of guys that be happy to see you up there. So.
Oh, for sure. He's gonna be raising the chaos flag probably soon.
You say what?
You're probably gonna raise the chaos flag like they do in the beginning of the game.
That'd be dope.
Bring all the goats back.
That'd be not no go, but I'll get back and see if they'll let me at least touch the pole or something.
That's gonna be sweet. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a reunion though. That's like I was just on the phone yesterday with Tyneal, and it's like I haven't seen him in a year and a half, but we hop on the phone and we was talking like we saw each other yesterday. So it's crazy how that all works out. But
he's about to get healthy. It sounds like about to be.
Yeah, sounds like he's gonna be going game 1. So
that's good.
Yeah.
T-Hop, see what T Jordan do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, he back in the 88.
Oh, he is, huh?
Yeah.
That's
he's
tough.
not on his Draymond stuff anymore.
That's tough. Draymond.
But that fires me out.
That was funny.
You're definitely gonna have to make that happen.
I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna try to get back up there.
Yeah, for sure. But
so I saw the last question there. Get Bratz out there to raise the flag. Heck yeah. I mean, Bratz, great Bronco. Jonah's passed him now in scoring, but I think was the career scoring leader for a while. So would love to see it for whatever game. Trust me, I know why the Nevada game, but that guy's been a great player at Boise State, punter and kicker. Did both. Phenomenal dude. I think golfing as well as anybody right now is what the rumor I heard. So speaking of which, how's your golf game, Steph?
Hey, way better.
Yeah.
Me and Luke gonna win it all. I hope Luke watch it. Me and Luke gonna win it all.
Yeah.
Next time we got partner golf. It's way
okay.
better.
Nice.
Yep.
Static got good. Static went from stealing range balls to getting birdies. Static, that was probably one of the funniest moments too. We all went golfing and Static didn't have any balls. So I look out and we're hitting balls warming up and Static's out there like picking up range balls on at the driving range.
Like, yeah, that'll do.
Like, this will do. That'll be fine.
Don't tell the guys at hopefully none of the guys at Warm Springs are watching. We don't want to get too bad.
No.
I ended up hitting them back in there.
Yeah. Static didn't lose any balls. They just went straight in the hole. So but y'all got good. You and Billy, like, it was fun because we went out and it was like they were hitting the ball all over the place. And then it got to the point where it was like Static was getting it down in 4 and it was like it was smooth. So we definitely got to get that scramble going again because that was probably one of the most fun parts of summer for sure.
I'm down. I'm still not driving. So I'm using my dad got me a 2-iron. I'm using the 2-iron off the tee, but I'm smacking it. So it's going a distance.
You still aim all the way left and it somehow goes right down.
Nah.
You straight up? Yeah.
Hey, but Coach Red, for a moment, that was the method. I was sitting right down the middle. I'll be aimed all the way that way. But
you would aim at a house with a family in the backyard and have full confidence that it was going to go right down the middle. It did every time.
That's all great until it doesn't.
Static knowing when he on and when he not.
Yeah.
There it is.
It was good, though.
Third person Static.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole new level.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's sweet. We're definitely going to have to play for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
We can still get it in November. It won't be too bad.
Yeah.
I'm down.
No doubt.
Well, good. Riley, you got any more questions?
Good, man. No, it was awesome spending time with Stat and appreciate you for coming on the show, man. I know the people have been wanting it, asking for it. So it's pretty good. I know it's going to be a funny episode too. So it definitely lived up to the hype.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I love being on the screen next to two GOATs.
Yes, sir. But we'll definitely stay in touch, keep the brotherhood going, and you're definitely going to be out here. So it'll be
absolutely
party in the city.
Steph, we'll get you fed when you get to town too.
Yeah.
Hey, say that. You know, I mean, I stay in the weight room, man.
Just a reminder for next week, we'll be back at the James. Want to get as many people down there as possible. We'll have a good crew. It'll be more than one guest. I don't want to commit to everybody that said they would be there because I know things change, but we got a good crew lined up, and we'll continue on throughout the year. I think we got some pretty special dudes that will get on there as the year goes on. So look forward to everybody. Thank you to Jackson's again. Wouldn't probably be here without them. So rumor has it next week, instead of my Timberline Cup, we'll get some Jackson's mugs and all sorts of fun stuff. But
free bananas.
See us at the James next week at 8, and we'll be fired up.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Let's go Broncos, man.